YouTuber amputated his own legs to scam his insurance. This guy is really smart. By the way, I have breakfast, and as every good German, it's sausage.
This vascular surgeon was just thrown in jail for insurance fraud after it was revealed that his amputations were not due to the sepsis that he claimed, or actually self-inflicted and fueled by both an interest in amputations and greed. Sometimes I come across
Wait.
by both an interest
Which the prosecutor said was the result of both his interest in amputations and greed. Okay. So we have a pervert here.
interest in amputations and greed? Sometimes I come across stories and I'm like, this can't be real. But unfortunately, it is. Because this man made himself a double amputee, lied about it, then made nearly £500,000 Great British pounds in fraudulent insurance claims after. Because even though he told his provider that he had sepsis, it was later revealed that he had frozen his own legs with dry ice until they required amputation. What kind of sick freak do you have to be to do this? Okay.
A very sick freak. Like a very, very, very sick freak. Like a total sick freak. It's... Wow. I mean... We are all complaining about furries, you know, but this guy... I mean, how can you be worse than a furry? What a stupid guy.
So him being a vascular surgeon means that he performed hundreds of amputations himself, and now some of his patients are seeking legal advice out of fear that their own surgeries might have not been needed.
That's actually a thing. Oh my god, yes. Oh. Oh yeah. And that's why you don't blindly trust your doctor.
That is horrifying. That is one incredible can of worms they just opened by charging this guy, because...
And that's also why you get a... You know, before you get something amputated or get operated on, get a second opinion. Might save your life.
I cannot even imagine being one of his patients, losing your limb and then realizing, wait, this guy is just some sick freak who just really enjoys removing limbs. Oh boy, okay. So obviously, that's a valid fear, given who we're talking about here today, because the subject of today's video is Neil Hopper. He was found to have a, well, let's say fixation on DIY amputations. Again, how is this a real story? So who's Neil Hopper? Well, Neil Hopper is a 45-year-old vascular surgeon from Cornwall, England, and in 2019, he had both his legs amputated below the knee.
My name's Neil Hopper. I'm a vascular surgeon who works in Truro. I've just been discharged from hospital and I was admitted unwell with sepsis of unknown cause. So I'm now a bilateral balloon.
Unknown cause. That's interesting, isn't it? There's a kind of sepsis and doctors go, we don't know why.
Amputee, which is quite ironic given my job.
You see, the original story that Neil told was that after returning from his camping trip, he apparently fell sick. So he stayed home while his wife and children left to visit his parents. The next morning, his wife called him to check in, and Neil was so delirious and speaking in gibberish, so she quickly called a friend and had him taken to the hospital. Here he was told he had sepsis and that it would take a lot to save the damaged tissue. So Neil and his doctors agreed to amputate both of his feet. And when I say agreed...
Feet? Only the feet? That's not a lot.
I mean, Neil seemed to imply...
I mean, you know, it is a lot if you have your feet amputated, but, you know, overall, compared to, you know, your legs being amputated, that's not a lot.
That he insisted on it. But Neil says he was back to work in 6 months and had also launched his social media, the Bionic Surgeon, on Instagram and YouTube, as well as a Bionic Surgeon website. Did this dude amputate
What do you even say to that? That is crazy. He literally made this thing his life. Oh my god. This is horrible.
himself to kickstart his social media career. Is this a new low? Hello? So apparently he used these socials to share his story on becoming a double amputee, continuing his career as a surgeon and how he was adjusting to life with prosthetics. Looking back now, some of the things he shared are pretty ironic.
I've even managed
Oh, I hope this is good.
to sort through a pile of old documents, which is about 2 foot tall, and sorted out some insurance claims and personal independent payment claims, and I can afford to live without the payments. But then there's
Wait,
the other
why?
half of me going,
Why can't he live without them? He's a he's literally a medical professional. Why can't he make money with that? And what? That makes no sense to me.
it's there, I'm entitled to it, paid my taxes. So yeah, it's a little bit strange. Don't think I'm morally strong enough not to take the free stuff.
He appeared on the British daytime TV show This Morning to discuss his story, and he even applied to become a para-astronaut. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. This is incredibly. This is getting dumber by the minute. I mean that literally. I mean, we are almost 4 minutes in and it got dumber and dumber.
The guy, I guess, decided if he was going to commit fraud, he might as well just try to go to space as well. Not that I blame the guy for trying to do that, but still, how is this man a real person? I mean, the dude was clearly loving the spotlight and the attention. Just listen to him list off all of his accomplishments for the year.
Ended up being invited to talk on Radio Cornwall, which sort of avalanched into a conversation with a TV producer, Gemma, awesome lady, and I ended up being followed around by some BBC cameras for a few days and made a brief documentary.
He really likes the attention. You can tell. Also, why is he getting that? Oh yeah, they make money with it. Yeah, okay, yeah. And they can't report on the actual problems in the country.
About my return to work and the problems I'd had and my concerns about amputee care. And then got an invitation to speak to Daily Mail, turned them down, don't like their politics.
Yeah, so that's pretty much just like public speaking events and interviews. And remember, he also relearned how to walk and he was in the process of potentially going to space. Wouldn't you want to include that as well? And I'm sure he was loving the insurance payouts as well because he allegedly used them to buy a camper van, a hot tub, a wood burner, and to make home improvements.
Huh. Isn't that something?
And Neil was just sharing all of his toys across social media.
Wow. Okay. This looks like it would be in a brothel. You know?
Media pretty much shamelessly and seemed to be genuinely happy and thriving on the outside.
I'm
Well, yeah. He fulfilled his wishes.
more active than I've almost ever been. I've been out on a trike a lot. I'll put some videos of that up at some point. I do a lot of walking. I can walked 4 miles across country paths on my legs without much difficulty at all.
On the inside, however, there was a dark secret that was about to come out. And this is where things go from crazy to batshit insane.
I hope this is gonna be great. Oh my god.
Because in March of 2023, literally the same month that BBC published an article about his sepsis and life after losing his legs, he was arrested after being linked to the owner of, let's just call it an X-rated site. Oh boy.
What did I say? It gets dumber and dumber by the minute. Literally. About 1 minute after. And it got dumber twice.
Now, I need to be very careful with how I word all this if I don't want this video smited from the algorithm, but Neil was paying for videos from a website that specialized in removing men's parts.
Oh. Oh. Is that even legal? Huh.
In another disturbing charge, investigators found that between 2018 and 2020, Hopper bought 3 videos from a now defunct website called The Eunuch Maker, an extreme body modification website which showcased disturbing mutilation live streams.
Okay, yeah, what a fascinating use of free will. That is absolute. No, actually, what a fucked up use of free will. That is just awful. Yeah. Sometimes we just have those videos where we just kind of hit new lows. This is just but that's
Yes, I agree. I agree. And it gets dumber and dumber.
not all. He also even exchanged messages with the owner of the website where he revealed the truth about his own injuries. The damages that led to his double leg amputations that have been self-inflicted. Yeah, I guess he just left that part out when he was filing his insurance claims for £500,000. Yeah, I mean, you can't come back from messaging someone that it's going to be awesome when you become a double amputee and then it's been your dream for 20 years. I think that is the definition of you being quite messed up.
Yeah, I agree. Like, no. This is quite messed up.
The investigation into the website had blown Neil's lies wide open, and he was arrested and charged with 2 counts of fraud by false representation and a charge of a grievous body harm. So yeah, you can definitely have a feel for his former patients, because finding out the guy who performed an amputation on you apparently has a, he's into that stuff, and he was paying for videos of it, that would be pretty horrifying. It's not completely clear why Neil wanted to remove his feet, but his defense claimed that Mr. Hopper had suffered body dysphoria since childhood, and his feet were an unwelcome extra, and apparently a persistent, never-ending discomfort to him.
Yeah. Tell me you are mentally ill without telling me you're mentally ill.
Which is extremely rare, but not unheard of, because there was that story of the woman who blinded herself with drain cleaner because she claimed that she should have been born blind. Also, random interesting fact, but most people who struggle with wanting to remove a body part are middle-aged white men, and the most common thing they want to amputate is the left leg. You really...
That's weird. That's really, really weird.
You'd learn something new every day. But I guess all this to say, it is possible to just not want a certain part of your body. But you obviously can't just like hack off a limb at random, and you definitely can't then just claim it as sepsis for £500,000. Because that's a serious payday. So obviously he did some financial trickery to be able to get that payday on top of getting what he also wanted. And it really does not help when the evidence comes out of you telling your friend that you're going to milk this insurance payout. So
imagine doing things like that and then telling on yourself, like, this is so conflicting. On one hand, he's a medical professional, so he has to be intelligent, right? But then he does so much stupid things. But maybe it's arrogance that makes him admit these things. That's a possibility.
At this point, it looked like Neil had nowhere left to hide and didn't enter any plea deals in court.
According to the Times UK, Hopper didn't enter any pleas to the 3 charges lodged at him and reportedly shed a tear before being led to his cell by court officers.
Imagine going to prison for shit like that. Now being surrounded by really dangerous criminals. Oh my god.
And the court also heard that Hopper did not regret his operations, but bitterly regrets the dishonesty about their cause. And then I guess most recently, on August 28th, he was finally thrown in jail for close to 32 months for his crimes. The judge in this case also made a harm prevention order for 10 years and set a timetable to recover some of the funds he acquired fraudulently. The court also heard that Hopper would lose his home, so even if you hear 3 years is light, he will be dealing with the repercussions of this for the rest of his life.
Yes, and so does his family. It's not only him losing his home. his wife and kids too. He destroyed the lives of 4 people. Man, his wife and kids must hate him now.
And then you can also factor in the part where he doesn't have legs anymore, so he'll also deal with that for the rest of his life on top of this. But apparently he wanted that, so whatever floats your boat, man. Honestly, this is just fucking weird. This is definitely one of the more bizarre stories I've covered recently. I mean, at this point, I just hope all of his former patients get the peace of mind they deserve, even though that seems very difficult given how unsettling this guy ended up being. And while a spokesperson for the NHS put out a statement claiming there's been no evidence to suggest that any risk to any of his patients, I'd still kind of...
Yeah, of course they would say that. Of course they would. They want to cover all the tracks. I mean, they might be liable at the end, too. You know?
gonna be worried. It just wouldn't sit right. So personally, I don't know if that would make me feel that much better. Because I mean, if there's a dude who's like really taking pleasure in removing your leg and it's like the most traumatizing experience of your life, yeah, I really feel for them. But I mean, hey, at least he didn't slander a YouTuber for being a deadbeat father like this woman did for clout. I don't know why she did it, and she kept doubling down on it, but it's an insane story I'd recommend checking out here. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe, drop a like on this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yep. Same for this video. My video, you know. If you liked it, give it a like. If you want to see more, subscribe.